Geek Myths, a novel about life, love, and the pursuit of sonic screwdrivers, available in paperback and Kindle edition from Amazon.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog Podcast. This time talking about main range release number 249, The KAMELION Empire. Written by Jonathan Morris, directed by Ken Bentley. Tell you what, here's the synopsis. Once upon a time, a people of great artistry and great knowledge ruled the planet Mekalion, the Kamille. For 1,000 years they prospered peacefully. Then came disaster when their sun set forever. Facing extinction, the Kamille made the Locus, a device to sustain their minds, and fashioned shape-changing machines to act out their wishes on the physical plane. Servants they called the KAMELION. Now, Big Finish are renowned for filling in their gaps. What they used to do at the very beginning is just fill in the gaps, plug them perfectly and walk away. And then they discovered it was easier to fill the gaps and leave a little bit of wiggle room in order to let us, the audience, put more stories in. Once there was a crack, you could have a flood through the dike kind of thing. Yeah? This story is a return to form. This story and the previous few releases produce four, not three, although it's a trilogy of releases, but one of them was a two-parters, you know that, you've been paying attention. Stories which fill the gap, summing up what's happened to KAMELION before the 5 Doctors, but when he joined, and producing enough of a background to allow him not to turn up at all until, well, his final story. Makes sense? I think so. So this story is, to all intents and purposes, game over for KAMELION. The end of the run until we see him exit on TV. I don't know why they've done this. Because KAMELION was proving to be an interesting companion. Yes, you can't really have that much character development with somebody who only really appeared in literally a couple of stories. But this is Big Finish. They're good at that sort of thing. Now, also, my issue with this particular story is that it kind of ends at the end of episode 2. There's a whole extra bit. You know those old stories that were on TV where there were 6-parters, but actually they were a 4-parter and a 2-parter? Well, this story is a 2-parter and a 2-parter, with one overriding story arc going between the two. And weirdly, when I was listening to this, I had the oddest of sensations. The sensation was that this story would have been better on TV. I never get that feeling with Big Finish. I never feel that way. I always feel that this is a superior story. This is so much better than TV Doctor Who. This is where I'm at. But this actually felt purely as if it had been a TV story that I'd missed. For a lot of people, that's going to be a massive vote of confidence when it comes to Doctor Who stories. It truly is. You've got a story that you're listening to, that you're experiencing to, that is so true to its time, so of its moment, that it couldn't possibly have existed in any other medium. The sound design is gorgeous. I mean, truly, you can't get better than this. It sounds so as if you've just taped it off the TV and you forgot to press record on the visuals. And also, you're imagining some pretty dodgy special effects. You see, I'm talking about the mechanics of the whole storyline. Yes, you've got the KAMELION wanting to go home. You've got a lot of other KAMELION droids. You've got a race of what basically are in Ogrons but with motorbikes. And then you've got, well, what's actually going on, which did feel a little bit like, some stuff we've come across in the Fifth Doctor's time before. Avatars of other personalities, of creatures, people representing other people, and of course extensive use of something that, to all intents and purposes, is basically the Matrix. Yeah, there's some beautiful moments. There's a great bit with Tegan on the beach talking about, well, Gallipoli. And if you didn't know about it, which not a lot of people in the UK do really, I mean, unless you're a Mel Gibson fan, then that's something worthy of note. Educate and inform, after all, is what they were always about. So, the storyline develops. It moves on apace. We've got some evil characters. We've also got some time travel shenanigans, which is nice for Doctor Who. I mean, let's face it, how many time travel stories actually contain time travel? Very, very impressive. So perhaps I'm shortchanging this story by saying it just didn't quite do it, because since I've listened to it, I've thought about it and played it over in my head a few times and gone, no, that's a really nice moment. That's a good moment too. That's great. So, I suspect that this is one of those stories you really do need to listen to just in order to get that feel and the reasons behind certain events in the Five Doctors making complete sense. A certain area of the TARDIS that you weren't expecting to turn up definitely turns up. And the cover of the CD, well, that just makes sense in the story. Don't want to give away spoilers. It's not my cup of tea at all. If you want those, go somewhere else. All I'm going to do is say that this is a cracking story. And it is. It's so much better in hindsight. And speaking of which, the 2020 Hounds site recordings are cracking on a pace. They will be released steadily throughout the year, where I'll be reviewing 20 birthday/anniversary stories from Big Finish for the last 20 years. I'm already up to recording Neverland, and they'll all be with you shortly. So until next time, when I'm probably going to be talking about Doctor Who, be seeing you.
That's your home planet.
Yes. It is known as Mekalion.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, the Kamelion Empire.
It must have been abandoned centuries ago. It's overgrown with weeds and vines and... whatever this is. Some sort of lichen.
This world was once home to a species similar to your own. The Kamille.
The Kamille?
They created me, and my kind.
So what happened to them?
Watch out! Tripwire.
I'm sorry. I didn't see it.
Yeah, but I think they've seen us.
What? Oh yes! Run!
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 Psychokinetic interface restored. Chameleons reactivated. Well done, my little friend. You answered our call and restored us to life.
Big Finish. We love stories.
That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.